and welcome. It's Matt Finnegan here, and you're watching another Soccer Insight Betting preview brought to you by betting-insight.com. And we're looking at the early game on Sunday, Arsenal entertaining Stoke. And you can sort of see from the OP index, Arsenal heavily favourites in this game, 2-5, 1.4, the draw 5.0, and Stoke 10.5. Both teams go into this game unbeaten in the last three. Arsenal with 3 wins on the bounce, and Stoke with a couple of good wins and a credible draw last time out at home against Man City. So they're both going with a bit of form. But looking at the head-to-head over the last 5 seasons, it's 5 wins for Arsenal. And to tell you the truth, I think that will happen again this weekend. We'll just have a quick look at the exchange prices. These were taken on Thursday, and they can be subject to change over the weekend. But you'll see that the Arsenal price is not too far away from the OP index, 138, 139. OP index, of course, 1.4. Stoke, well, they're available at 11, slight bit of value, but the draw is a little bit bigger than our OP index price at 5.3. So that's the exchange prices. At the end of the day is probably small staking punters. You're going to need to be a little bit creative in ramping up the price if you think Arsenal will win. So let's have a look at those options. And the bookmakers, well, they're slightly shorter than the OP index price, but they're not far off. But bear in mind, that Arsenal could shorten. There could be a lot of confidence, behind Arsenal. They are banging form, a good win in midweek in the Champions League as well. But they did travel, so that could prove a negative, and it could mean that the price may hold. So it's just one to keep an eye on. It's one that you can't really sort of play your cards too early, but they may shorten, but they're not too far away. They won't put anybody off taking that sort of price. It's pretty much sort of fair value. Now, if you want to ramp the price up, one option that you do have is backing them to be leading at 60 minutes. Okay, so you're shortening the game by 30 minutes. That will ramp that price up to an 8-13 shot, 1.62 with Ladbrokes, and that can always be a good option with these shorter price teams. Is if they're going to be sort of leading, the chances are that they might be leading, within the first hour of the game. So again, you can just ramp that price up. Just gives you that 15 minutes after half time for any tactical changes. And winning margin option, consider touching 1 or 2 goals. That pays even money. You should get even money from 1.4. You should get that sort of price at the best prices, touching 1 or 2 goals. And I'll cover the winning margins later in this presentation. So on to the Stoke win or result. Well, basically, if you think Stoke will get a result now head to head, it's not suggesting likely, but they are in form, unbeaten in 3. Basically, you can lay Arsenal on the exchanges. You're roughly getting 5-2, 3.5 that Arsenal don't win the game. And checking in the double chance market, Predictor at time of recording is offering the same sort of price, and always use that double chance market to check the exchanges. Okay, to check the exchanges, laying on the exchanges to see if you're getting a fair result. Now, another option that you have with Stoke, now they don't score many goals, and this is the reason that the price is quite big, is you could consider backing them to score a goal in the match. You should get 10-11, 1.91. that they just score a goal in the match. Now, Arsenal's defence over the last 2 or 3 seasons has been watertight, so they do offer chances for the away team. And Stoke, they're not known for their expansive play, but they could breach the Arsenal defence. And if you fancy that, it's not a bad price, just under even money that Stoke will get a goal. That bet is running for you, guaranteed for 90 minutes. That's something that you can consider. Another option is on the Asian handicap, and you take 4-6, 167. It's quite skinny, minus 1.75 goals on the Asian handicap, and you get half the stake back if they lose by 2 goals. But it's a winning bet if they lose by just the 1 goal. And of course, you've got the draw, and if Stoke perform a miracle and actually win the game, so that's something to consider. Is that 3 goals? They've got to lose by 3 goals for you to lose all of the stake. And given that they're very, very sort of tight at the back, the chances are that might not happen. So there's just a couple of options there if you think Stoke will actually sort of do well in the game. So what have we got then with the winning margins then? And let's just have a quick look at those options. And basically, like I say, Arsenal 1 goal, 3.75. But if you think this is just pushing the boat out a little bit, you can get well over sort of just over 13 to 8. It's actually 17 to 10, I think they call it. 2.69 in the decimals, that they will win by a 2 or 3 goal margin, Arsenal. So what you're saying there is they will win the game. It won't be by the 1 goal. You're saying it's going to be more than 1 goal, but they won't win by 4 goals. Okay, but you can also see they're Dutching 1, 2 and 3. It's 1.57, and that just pushes the price up as well. And you're saying they're not going to win by 4 or more goals. Okay, so that's but any one of those options on Arsenal can work. And if you want to do that, the process of elimination, the one that sort of fits your thought process going into the game, all of them work. You Stoke, well, basically, I think if they're going to win the game, it's most likely by a 1 goal margin. But you could have almost not far off Dutching 1 or 2 goals, 9.28 at best prices. It's not too far off our tissue. So if you want that insurance that they may win by 2 goals, then you can have that. But you're going to get better than the OP index price on a 1 goal margin. But if you fancy Arsenal to win, the winning margins on this particular game are a very, very good option. Looking at the unders and overs, well, it's not surprisingly that Arsenal at home, the value is in the unders here. Okay, I think the overs is a little bit short given the makeup of how Mark Hughes has his teams organised. 178. Would I be taking that on over 2.5 goals? I don't think I would be. The value there is on the underside, 2.15 odds against, and that's moving in. But if you do fancy overs, then it might be pays you to wait 5 or 10 minutes, let that price creep up towards even, and then place your hand, put your money into the market then at that little bit of an inflated price there. But it's not surprisingly, given Arsenal at home, they do score goals. They're nearly always the value with them is on the unders. Finally, to wrap up this preview, we'll just look at some of the OP in-play stats. Matches at 0-0 at 25 minutes. There is a 37.3% chance of a goal before half-time. So you can see how tight Stoke do keep the game. This is a snapshot over 5 seasons of these teams when 0-0, likely heading to a goal. So that will give you a nice pointer. Watching the game, see how expensive it is. Chances are might be goals in the second half. There is a 70.83% chance of a goal being scored between 25 and 70 minutes. It's almost double that, double the time span, but it's almost double that. And I'm not talking just games that are 0-0. I'm talking any game here. And if that happens, it's giving you an almost a 4 in 5 games chance that there will be another goal in there. 77.65% chance another one will be scored if 1 goal happens in those sort of 25 minutes. And finally, looking at a late goal in the game, there's 61.67% chance of a last goal of the match coming after 65 minutes. And so you're looking at 1.62 or above. Now, depending on the game, you might not get those prices. Okay, it might be a little bit shorter if there's been 1 or 2 goals in the game. If it's 0-0 still at that time, you will get that price and maybe a little bit bigger. So look at that on the exchanges. If the game is 1-0, 0-1, then you're looking at over 1.5 goals market. So that's it from me. That's the Arsenal versus Stoke preview. I will speak to you in another preview very, very shortly. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.